July 1st, 2002. A perfect summer night. The kind of night that makes you believe in happy endings. But up there, 36,000 feet above Germany, fate had other plans. Two planes, on drastically different missions, shared the same patch of sky. One, a Bashkirian Airlines Tupolev Tu-154, was filled with 69 souls, mostly Russian schoolchildren headed for a Spanish vacation. Their laughter, I imagine, echoed through the cabin, a stark contrast to the silent cargo hold of the other plane. A DHL Boeing 757 cargo jet, its belly full of parcels and packages, sliced through the same night sky. Just another routine delivery. Little did they know, they were hurtling towards each other, caught in a deadly ballet orchestrated by human error and technological failure. This, my friends, is the story of the Überlingen mid-air collision, a story of heroism, tragedy, and the unbearable weight of responsibility. It's a story that keeps me up at night, wondering about the randomness of it all, about the people on those planes, their hopes and dreams extinguished in a fiery instant. The stage for this tragedy was set hundreds of miles away in the dimly lit control room of SkyGuide Zurich's Air Traffic Control Center. Our protagonist in this nightmare? Not a pilot, but an air traffic controller named Peter Nielsen. A man soon to be crushed under the weight of an impossible situation. Imagine the scene. A cacophony of radio chatter, blinking screens, the constant pressure of keeping metal birds from colliding in the crowded sky. Now imagine that pressure multiplied tenfold. On that fateful night, Peter Nielsen was the only controller on duty, alone, responsible for a sector overflowing with planes. To make matters worse, the main air traffic control system was down for maintenance, and a key phone line was out of order. Nielsen was flying blind, relying on outdated equipment and sheer willpower. Every beep on his radar, every blip on his screen, represented hundreds of lives in his hands.
And then in the blink of an eye, those blips converged. Two planes on a collision course, invisible to my compromised system.
High above the ground, blissfully unaware of the unfolding disaster, the pilots of the Bashkirian Airlines flight and the DHL cargo jet continued on their assigned flight paths. Suddenly, a heart-stopping alarm shrieked through both cockpits. The Traffic Collision Avoidance System, or TCS, had detected the impending disaster and issued conflicting instructions.
TCS says to descend. We must descend.
The Russian crew, following TCS instructions, began to descend. At the same time, down in the Zurich control center, Peter Nielsen finally saw the two planes, their flight paths intersecting with terrifying clarity.
Descend further, descend further.
He immediately contacted the Russian plane, instructing them to descend further, mistakenly believing he was speaking to the DHL flight, which was actually on a higher altitude. A fatal miscommunication, a split-second decision made in the heat of the moment, with incomplete information. The pilots, now receiving conflicting instructions from TCS and air traffic control, fought desperately to avert disaster. But it was too late. At 11:35 p.m., with a deafening roar that ripped through the night, the two planes collided. The tail section of the DHL cargo jet sliced through the fuselage of the passenger plane, instantly killing everyone on board both aircraft. 71 lives, including 52 innocent children, vanished in a horrifying ball of fire. The wreckage rained down on the unsuspecting town of Überlingen, Germany, scattering debris and dreams across a wide swath of forest. The world watched in horror as news of the tragedy spread. How could this happen? Who was to blame? In the wake of the disaster, the world searched for answers. The investigation pointed squarely at Peter Nielsen, the air traffic controller on duty that night. He became the scapegoat, the embodiment of human error. The media vilified him, painting him as a villain. But he was a man drowning in grief, haunted by the ghosts of those lost souls. He carried the weight of their deaths on his shoulders, a burden no one should have to bear. And then, the unthinkable happened.
2 years after the collision, I tracked down Peter Nielsen at his home in Switzerland. I had lost my wife and children in the crash. Driven by grief and rage, I took his life, adding another layer of tragedy to an already unbearable story.
The murder sent shockwaves through the aviation world, highlighting the devastating ripple effects of such tragedies. The Überlingen mid-air collision left an indelible mark on the aviation industry. It forced a long, hard look at air traffic control procedures, safety protocols, and the limitations of technology. It sparked debates about controller workload, backup systems, and the need for clear communication in high-pressure situations. The tragedy also led to significant changes in the way TCAS systems operate, with modifications designed to prevent conflicting instructions in the event of a potential collision. The ghosts of Überlingen, it seemed, demanded accountability and action, but the scars run deeper than regulations and technology. They linger in the memories of those who lost loved ones, in the nightmares of those who survived, and in the hushed whispers of pilots and controllers who know that even in the age of advanced technology, human error can still have devastating consequences. The Überlingen disaster wasn't just about one man's mistake. It exposed systemic flaws in the air traffic control system, vulnerabilities that had been lurking beneath the surface for years. The investigation revealed a perfect storm of failures, understaffing, equipment malfunctions, inadequate backup systems, and communication breakdowns. The Swiss Air Traffic Control Agency, Skyguide, bore the brunt of the blame. The subsequent trial exposed a culture of complacency, a lack of investment in training and technology, and a dangerous reliance on outdated procedures. It became painfully clear that the system designed to keep the skies safe was itself riddled with cracks.
The Überlingen tragedy became a wake-up call, a stark reminder that even the most sophisticated systems are only as strong as their weakest link.
Section 8. When technology fails. The limitations of TCS. TCS, the very system designed to prevent mid-air collisions, played a tragic role in the Überlingen disaster. While it successfully detected the impending collision and issued alerts, its conflicting instructions, coupled with the air traffic controller's erroneous commands, created a perfect storm of confusion in the cockpits. The pilots, faced with conflicting orders from TCS and air traffic control, had to make split-second decisions with incomplete information. In the end, even the most advanced technology couldn't compensate for human error and systemic failures. The Überlingen tragedy underlined the limitations of technology, reminding us that even the most sophisticated systems are not foolproof. It highlighted the need for clear communication protocols, robust backup systems, and ongoing training to ensure that pilots and controllers can effectively respond to critical situations. Section 9. The human cost of error, remembering the victims. Beyond the technical failures and the blame game, the Überlingen collision was, at its core, a human tragedy. 71 lives, each one filled with hopes, dreams, and loved ones left behind, were extinguished in an instant. Among the victims were 52 children from the city of Ufa in Russia, on their way to a long-awaited vacation in Spain. Their laughter, their youthful exuberance, their potential, all wiped away in a fiery collision. The families of the victims, forever scarred by the loss, continue to mourn their loved ones, their grief a constant reminder of the human cost of this disaster. Their stories, their faces, their dreams must never be forgotten. They serve as a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of learning from our mistakes to prevent such tragedies from happening again. Section 10. A plea for change preventing future tragedies. The Überlingen mid-air collision stands as a stark reminder of the importance of air safety, of the need for constant vigilance, and of the shared responsibility we all have to prevent such tragedies from happening again. It is a call to action for the aviation industry to prioritize safety above all else, to invest in robust training programs, to embrace technological advancements, and to foster a culture of open communication and accountability. It is a plea to remember the victims, to honor their memory by striving for a future where the skies are truly safe for everyone. Let their loss be a catalyst for positive change, a reminder that complacency has no place in the world of aviation. The legacy of Überlingen must be one of learning, of improvement, of unwavering dedication to making the skies safer for generations to come. Section 11. Flying onward. The enduring impact of Überlingen. The skies above Überlingen are quiet now, but the echoes of that tragic night still reverberate throughout the aviation world. The story of the collision, the air traffic control failures, the loss of innocent lives, and the subsequent murder of Peter Nielsen serves as a chilling reminder of the fragility of human systems and the devastating consequences of error. But amidst the tragedy, there is hope. The legacy of Uberlingen lives on in the changes implemented, the lessons learned, and the unwavering commitment to air safety that emerged from the ashes of disaster. The skies are safer today because of the sacrifices made, the lives lost, and the lessons learned. And as we fly onward, let us remember those who perished at Uberlingen, their memory a beacon guiding us towards a future where the skies are truly safe for everyone. Imagine this. You're cruising at 35,000 feet, sipping your ginger ale, when suddenly chaos erupts in the cockpit. The pilots are incapacitated and the plane is left without a captain. Your life and the lives of hundreds of passengers depend on the cabin crew. But can flight attendants, trained primarily for passenger service and safety, land a plane? This question, as unsettling as it may seem, sits at the heart of a debate that balances hope with the cold reality of aviation complexities.
While we often perceive flight attendants as smiling faces offering beverages and blankets, their role extends far beyond passenger comfort. These men and women undergo rigorous training programs that equip them to handle a wide range of emergencies, from medical crises to unruly passengers and, yes, even pilot incapacitation. Their training encompasses basic aviation principles, emergency procedures, and even rudimentary cockpit familiarization. However, it's crucial to understand the distinction between familiarization and proficiency. While flight attendants are trained to communicate with pilots and understand basic cockpit instruments, they are not taught to fly the aircraft. Their training focuses on following specific emergency protocols and relaying critical information to ground control, who can then guide them through a potential landing.
Every airline has meticulously crafted emergency procedures for various scenarios, including pilot incapacitation. These procedures are regularly practiced using high-fidelity flight simulators, allowing cabin crew to experience the sights and sounds of a real cockpit. They learn to identify key instruments, relay readings to ground control, and potentially manipulate some controls under strict guidance. The focus, however, remains on following established protocols and maintaining communication with trained professionals on the ground. The idea is not to turn flight attendants into pilots overnight, but to empower them to act as crucial intermediaries in a crisis, following a predetermined script designed to maximize the chances of survival.
While instances of cabin crew landing planes are extremely rare, history offers compelling examples of their bravery and resourcefulness in dire situations. One such incident occurred in 2009 when a U.S. Airways flight experienced a catastrophic engine failure shortly after takeoff. The captain, famously known as Sully, successfully glided the plane onto the Hudson River. While Sully's skill undoubtedly averted a tragedy, the cabin crew played a vital role in ensuring the safe evacuation of all passengers and crew. They acted swiftly and decisively, calming terrified passengers, directing them to emergency exits, and ensuring no one was left behind. They demonstrated exceptional teamwork and presence of mind under pressure. While not a landing in the traditional sense, this event highlighted the critical role of cabin crew in managing crisis situations and coordinating with ground personnel. Their actions were instrumental in the successful outcome of the emergency, showcasing their training and dedication to passenger safety.
The miracle on the Hudson is often cited as a prime example of the importance of comprehensive crew training. The flight attendants on board that day had diligently practiced their emergency procedures, and their actions undoubtedly saved lives. However, this incident also underscores the limitations of expecting non-pilots to land an aircraft. The Airbus A320 involved in the Hudson River landing is a highly automated aircraft, and Sully, a seasoned pilot with decades of experience, was at the helm. While the cabin crew could have relayed information and followed instructions from ground control, the successful ditching was ultimately due to Sully's expertise and the plane's advanced design.
Landing an aircraft, even with guidance from ground control, presents numerous challenges for non-pilots. These challenges range from understanding complex instrumentation and flight dynamics to maintaining situational awareness and responding appropriately to unexpected events. While simulators offer a degree of realism, they cannot replicate the sensory overload and psychological pressure of a real-life emergency. Furthermore, different aircraft types have different layouts and handling characteristics. A flight attendant trained on a Boeing 737 would face a steep learning curve if tasked with landing an Airbus A380. The sheer variety of aircraft models and the constant evolution of aviation technology make it virtually impossible to train cabin crew for every conceivable scenario.
Another crucial factor to consider is the complexity of modern aircraft cockpits. Pilots undergo years of training to master the intricate web of systems and controls that govern an aircraft's operation. Communicating with ground control and relaying information from a cockpit designed for trained professionals would be an incredibly daunting task for someone without extensive aviation experience. Even with clear instructions from ground control, interpreting technical jargon, understanding the nuances of aircraft systems, and executing precise maneuvers would pose significant challenges for a non-pilot. The risk of miscommunication or misinterpretation of instructions is high, particularly in a high-stress situation where every second counts.
Beyond the technical challenges, there's the unavoidable element of human psychology. Facing a life or death situation at 35,000 feet is guaranteed to trigger fear and anxiety, even in the most composed individuals. While cabin crew training includes stress management techniques, the immense pressure of landing a plane with hundreds of lives at stake could easily lead to panic and poor decision-making. The ability to remain calm, think clearly, and follow instructions under duress is not a skill everyone possesses. It often takes years of experience and countless hours of simulated training for pilots to develop the mental fortitude required to handle emergencies effectively. Expecting a flight attendant to exhibit the same level of composure and decision-making ability in a crisis is, at best, unrealistic. However, it is important to recognize the crucial role that flight attendants play in maintaining order and providing reassurance during such high-stress situations. Their ability to manage passenger emotions and keep the cabin environment as calm as possible can significantly impact the overall outcome of the crisis. While they may not be making critical flight decisions, their actions are vital in ensuring passenger safety and cooperation.
While instances of cabin crew landing planes are exceedingly rare, there have been a few near misses and incidents that offer valuable insights into the potential risks involved. In 2013, for instance, a United Airlines flight experienced a hydraulic failure, leaving the co-pilot to land the aircraft with limited control. While the pilots managed to land safely, the incident highlighted the importance of redundant systems and the challenges of dealing with unforeseen technical malfunctions. In this case, even experienced pilots struggled to maintain control of the aircraft. It underscores the immense difficulty a non-pilot would face in a similar situation, even with guidance from ground control.
The question of whether cabin crew can land a plane is a subject of much debate within the aviation industry. Some experts argue that with proper training and guidance from ground control, it's theoretically possible for a flight attendant to land an aircraft in an emergency. Others, however, remain skeptical, citing the complexities of modern aircraft, the risks of miscommunication, and the psychological pressures involved. The consensus seems to be that while cabin crew can play a vital role in relaying information and supporting ground control, expecting them to execute a safe landing is unrealistic and potentially dangerous. The focus should remain on preventing such situations from arising and providing pilots with the training and resources they need to handle emergencies effectively.
The verdict. The question of whether cabin crew can land a plane is not easily answered with a simple yes or no. It's a topic that requires a deeper understanding of aviation and the roles within it. While theoretically possible under very specific circumstances and with a great deal of luck, the reality is far more complex and nuanced. Pilots undergo years of rigorous training and simulations to handle the myriad of situations that can arise during a flight. While cabin crew members are highly trained individuals who play a crucial role in ensuring passengers' safety, their training is focused on different aspects of flight operations. Expecting them to land a plane is akin to asking a nurse to perform heart surgery. Both are skilled professionals, but their expertise lies in different areas. The focus should remain on equipping pilots with the skills and resources to handle emergencies, implementing redundant safety systems, and ensuring that the cockpit is always manned by those with the necessary expertise. Providing cabin crew with the training to manage crises effectively and support ground control is equally important. Their role is crucial in maintaining order and safety in the cabin. The Miracle on the Hudson serves as a powerful reminder that while we can never fully eliminate the risks associated with air travel, we can strive to mitigate them through comprehensive training, robust safety protocols, and teamwork. And a deep respect for the complexities of aviation. Every role on a flight is vital, and understanding these roles helps ensure safer skies. And a deep respect for the complexities of aviation. The collaboration between pilots, cabin crew, and ground control is what makes air travel one of the safest modes of transportation today.
Have you ever stopped to think? Who truly controls the skies? Sure, we hear the names Airbus, Boeing, and Embraer. But what if everything we know about these giants is only scratching the surface? What if their battle for the future of flight has been about something else entirely? Today, we're not just comparing planes. We are unraveling hidden rivalries, shocking compromises, and jaw-dropping strategies that have been shaping the future of aviation. Stay with us and don't go anywhere. Thank you. Everyone knows about Boeing's recent struggles with the 737 MAX. But what if I told you those problems were the result of years of power struggles and compromises?
Better today.
One heavy painter, Rogers advising you're ready for departure.
8 world-class customers that have purchased this aircraft so far: ANA, British Airways, Cathay Pacific, Emirates, Etihad, Lufthansa, Qatar, and Singapore. A huge thank you.
And what if Airbus is winning the battle, but at a price no one is talking about? What if the underdog in this race, Embraer, is preparing to flip the script in ways that will completely blindside both Boeing and Airbus? Because while we all obsess over cabin design, fuel efficiency, and safety protocols, there's something far more powerful that's driving every single decision these manufacturers make profits. So behind closed doors, decisions are made not for comfort or even for safety, but to win battles in boardrooms and keep stockholders happy. And here's where it gets really interesting. Embraer, the smallest player in this race, is quietly pulling off a series of moves that could challenge Boeing and Airbus. Their regional jet market is thriving, and soon they could be positioned to dominate in ways no one saw coming. So let's start with Airbus. They've positioned themselves as the champions of sustainability. Hydrogen planes, eco-friendly engines, it sounds good, right? But just how much of this is innovation and how much is just marketing? In Europe, they are using these green promises to quietly nudge Boeing out of critical markets, all while making sure their public image stays spotless. Then there's Boeing. Once untouchable, they've been hit hard not just by the 737 MAX crisis, but by internal conflicts. So how do you balance innovation with profitability? Is Boeing stuck in the past, too cautious to make the bold moves it needs to regain its lead? And now Embraer. They might be smaller, but don't let that fool you. Their E2 jets are some of the most efficient on the market. And while Airbus and Boeing are locked in a heavyweight fight, Embraer is quietly carving out a niche, taking over regional routes that neither of the big two can afford to ignore. So in the long run, could the smallest player on the field actually come out on top? But there's the thing, none of this is just about planes. It's about who can adapt faster to the changes that are coming. So whether it's climate change, rising fuel cost, or the next global crisis, each of these manufacturers is making bold claims about being ready for the future. But who will actually deliver? The truth, all three of these companies are walking a tightrope. Airbus might be winning the eco race now, but can they maintain it when the real pressure starts? Boeing is battling on their legacy to carry them through, but legacies don't always guarantee survival. And Embraer, they are taking big risks in the regional market, but sometimes the biggest rewards come from the smallest players. So here's the question. When the dust settles, which one of these giants will truly own the future of aviation? Airbus may have the largest plane, Boeing the longest legacy, and Embraer the smallest nimble fleet. But the real winner, well, that's something only time and perhaps this video can tell. Now that you have seen behind the curtain, here's how they stack up. Airbus, with their ambitious green planes, might be pushing the hardest towards sustainability. Boeing, with its Dreamliner, is still a powerhouse in long-haul travel. And Embraer, they've got the regional market locked down, and they are positioning themselves as the wild cards of this competition. But here's the thing, no one knows for sure. Not yet. So I want you to think about what we've covered today and decide for yourself. Who would you trust to carry us into the future of flights? So the next time you board a plane, ask yourself, whose name is on the side of the aircraft? And what does that name really stand for? So until next time, goodbye.